10 foods that are good for weight loss. This video is for you if you are a woman over 40 and you're in that perimenopause, menopause, or post-menopause space. If you're wondering what to eat or what you should be eating on a regular basis, and even a method in which to do so, that's what we're going to uncover. 10 foods that are good for weight loss. And I'm also going to share with you at the end something that I newly discovered and that has been helping me personally. What I want to say, let me say who I am. I am Robin-Nutritionist. It's been 16 years and that is what I've been doing. So I help women in midlife over 40 get their nutrition in order. All right. So here, before I get into the 10 foods, let me share with you a protocol or a couple of protocols that are useful for keeping our weight down. The first one is fasting. So intermittent fasting. My question to you is, do you do that? And you can comment below. And if you do, what method do you use? Intermittent is fasting is really good for us, helps with our digestive system, keeps our weight down. I use the 8-hour window. So I'm eating for 8 hours and then I'm fasting for 16 hours. So that is my recommendation. And I'm going to share with you those 10 foods. I also want to make sure that you understand that whenever you eat, you want to combine protein with carbohydrates. If you have questions, let me know. The protein, a complete protein, chicken, fish, turkey, eggs, tofu, with a carbohydrate slows down the effects of that carbohydrate from turning into sugar and storing as fat. So whenever you're eating, you want a protein source with the carbohydrate. So number one, we talk about fasting. This is helping you keep your weight down. Number two is that combination of your protein and your starch. And then the third thing that I recommend, and if you do this, this really does work, the order that you eat your food. So if you drink your water first, then you have your vegetables, then your protein, and then your carbohydrates, that's a game changer for your weight. Try it, test it out. Drink your water, have your vegetables, eat your protein, and then your carbohydrates. That is really useful. And then sometimes you have a meal where everything is all mixed up at once, a bowl or a plate of something, then that really doesn't work as well. But if you have everything sectioned off, so I'm saying you had your green beans, your salmon, turkey patty, tofu, what have you, and then your brown rice. Or in my case, last night I had oven roasted French fries. So I had my green beans, some chicken, and then oven roasted fries. And I didn't eat all those fries because I was full, but I like to see them on my plate. It makes me happy just to know like I don't feel restricted. All right. So the 10 foods that are good for weight loss in no particular order. Now, when I say some of these foods, I know some of y'all out there, it's a billion gazillion people out in the YouTube world, and you're going to say, I don't eat that. I don't like that. Don't eat that then. These are general, right? I'm talking general. So you might hear some dairy in there. There's some animal protein. General. Take out what doesn't serve you. All right. All right. Number one, in no particular order, avocados. Really good fat, full of magnesium, full of fiber. And if it's a small avocado, go ahead and eat the whole thing. Or if it's a big one, you can do half. You put that in salads, on sandwiches. Enjoy that avocado, ladies. It is good for us. All right. Number two are vegetables. Never going to go out of style. When you have your vegetables, if you have them roasted, steamed, sometimes boiled, but what you wouldn't want, right, are fried vegetables. Like if you think about like, oh, I have vegetables, let me have fried okra. No, right? And I'm going to look at my notes to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So your vegetables, always useful for us and what we are working on with our weight. Number three, eggs. Sometimes eggs get a bad rap, and I used to honestly only eat egg whites. When I was working on my weight, I was just like, oh, let me just eat egg whites. Even though that helped me, the yolk has B12 and vitamin D and nutrients that we need. So when I was younger, I could do other things, but as we eat as women over 40, we're eating not just for weight loss, we have to eat for nutritional value. We need certain nutrients in our body. And your question might be, well, what about cholesterol in the eggs? So the cholesterol in the eggs is not significant enough to do any damage. It's other stuff that we're eating that is being a menace, but it's not those eggs. It's sugar, it's saturated fats, it's fried foods, it's other things. But the eggs is like the least of the problem. So eggs, when you're eating eggs, you make an omelet and you fill it with vegetables, it's a great protein source and it's a great way to get pounds off. Number 3 were eggs. Number 4, cottage cheese. Now, do you eat dairy? Do you not eat dairy? I don't know you yet, or maybe I do. So cottage cheese is obviously a dairy, and in some cases, dairy is a no-no. But if dairy works for you, cottage cheese is a really good protein source. You can put in some fruit or sometimes some cucumbers with paprika and have a cup or half a cup of cottage cheese. Now, cottage cheese is high in sodium, so just be mindful of that. But that is one of those foods that are useful for us in keeping our weight down. Number 5, another form of dairy, Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt, y'all, not the sweetened kind. What I do, and I really like Greek yogurt, I love how creamy it is. I'll put some, can you hear the birds? I have the window open, birds are singing out there. It's a good thing. Going back to the Greek yogurt. With the Greek yogurt, I put in some honey and some strawberries. Y'all can't tell me nothing. It's so good. It's so creamy. And I feel like I had a really nutritious snack, but it was on the healthy side. So Greek yogurt plain and add in your own sweetener. Number 6, chia seeds. Chia seeds are good for omegas. They are good for our brain. They are good for our weight. And you can also make a pudding, chia seed pudding. I use almond milk, also a little bit of honey in there, and it's a good snack because sometimes we have that sweet tooth going on and we need to deal with that. Chia pudding is a wonderful way to do that. Chia seeds also are just a really phenomenal food or seed to keep into our diet. Keeps you full. Where am I? Number 7. Why do I always get off on these numbers? 7 would be fish. I did a video about, and I mentioned fish, and I will always mention fish. And if you don't eat fish, don't eat this fish. And people will say that, fish has mercury and it's dirty. And yeah, that could be true. It's difficult, y'all, to find food that isn't tainted and chemical laced and crazy right now. So we have to pick our battles, right? And figure out what you're willing to do, what makes sense to you. Wild cut, the freshest foods. There are delivery services that have like high quality seafood. It's costly, but if you can afford that, go that route. The highest quality that you can get with your meats, the better. But if you do not eat animal protein at all, close your ears on that one. But otherwise, fish is a really good lean protein source. Got it? Fish. And next 7 is lean meats. Again, if you're a vegan, close your ears on that. Lean meats, turkey, lots of fish, lean meats, still the eggs. Did I say turkey? I said turkey. So your tofu, tempeh, lean proteins with a carbohydrate is really, really good for keeping our weight down. Number 9, lentils. And I'm also going to put beans in there, lentils and beans. Have a good lentil soup, lentil burger, good with fiber, lots of phenomenal nutrients in there. And on the lower carb side. And then 10 is fruit. That is a wonderful carb all in all, where like I love to have right now when I'm recording this, it's summer, with my meal and just a bowl of watermelon or a pear just fruit instead of rice or roasted fries or whatever it is, using fruit as your carbohydrate. Lately, I have been testing out and sipping on a natural appetite suppressant in yerba mate. So, right at this moment, I do not have any recommendations for you because before I recommend anything, I have to vet, test. And so for the next few months, I'm just doing the test and all the research on myself. And then when applicable, if applicable, I will share it with you all. But so far, I've been drinking the yerba mate, and true story, it does act as an appetite suppressant, and it also gives me more energy. So as an appetite suppressant, that's cool because again, I don't want to feel restricted about anything, but it really does as I'm doing my fasting. When I wake up and I start the day, I sip on that. And then hours later, I break my fast with my smoothie, but it just makes it easier to do because sometimes you just want to eat. So I am sipping on yerba mate, all kinds of different, and it's a natural plant-based beverage. There are all different kinds, different brands. I don't know all the different brands right now. I'm keeping it a secret of what I'm using because until I'm sure, then I'm not gonna tell y'all. But when I do, I'll let you know. But I'm sipping on it. I like it, and it makes me feel good so far. All right, so those are foods. Give me a comment. I have to do this whole like, share, subscribe. But yeah, ask me questions. Let me know what you want to know more about. I have all these ideas, but I want to serve you, my YouTube audience, and to what you want to hear and discover. Also, in the down bar, I heard someone say down bar. Also, y'all know, or maybe you don't know, vitamin D is one of the supplements that I recommend wholeheartedly for women in midlife. And Necessary Nutrition is the brand that I use because that's the brand that we created 15 years ago. The link is below. I'm always going to put that in there. If you don't have your Necessary Nutrition D3K2, why? The K is very useful for us to help get dietary calcium away from arteries and places that doesn't belong into our bones. So that D and the K work synergistically together for better absorption, better support for our bones and our heart, but you would not use that if you're taking any blood thinning medications or you're on dialysis. Otherwise, grab your D3K2. And if you're wondering how much should I take of D, there's a video about that as well. So I'm going to link that. I'm still learning all the logistics, but somewhere I think it'll pop up so that you can check that video out. Also, if you want to go deeper, there is a class that I created that discusses the foods and the best practices to partake in to mitigate symptoms and concerns related to the pause, peri, meno, and post. And then lastly, if you really want to go deeper and work together, there is a program that I have called the Necessary Nutrition Pause Plan, where it has menus, live programming, a whole bunch of resources for you. And I'm going to put that in the down bar as well. So check out all of those resources. And again, I'd love to hear from you. Comment, like, subscribe, share, do all of those things. I have to say that. Like those, that's what YouTube creators are supposed to say. Like, share, subscribe. Did I say it all? Yes. And comment. All right. Peace and blessings. This is Robin, certified nutrition specialist from Necessary Nutrition. Peace.